Happy November, JOLO fans. Welcome to JOLO Winery and Vineyards and End Post Restaurant. Today we're going to show you my father's famous Thanksgiving stuffing, but it's not just for Thanksgiving anymore. We actually served it this past Saturday at our pickup party, and we had dozens of people ask for the recipe. They fell in love with it, so I figured, what the heck, let's do a video. So it's a super simple recipe, jam-packed with flavors. You can make it days in advance. In fact, I recommend making it earlier. It marinates kind of, all the flavors come together, so it actually is a little better when you make it in advance. It takes the heat off of you on Thanksgiving too. So what we have here is what we call the Trinity. So you have some onion, celery, and pepper. I like to use red pepper. It's a little sweeter, less bitter. So make sure when you cut the red peppers, you take the inside pith out. That white, after you pull the seeds out, there's always a little pith in there, still attached to the ribbing. You want to pull that white stuff off before you slice or dice into these small little cubes right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the sausage. So you can get the Jimmy Dean sausage in a tube. You know, it's like this, not the patties or the links, but sausage without the casing basically. And we're going to take this all by itself in a hot pan and just start browning it. And we're going to get that nice and brown. It's going to take a while. You want to do medium-high heat. Be careful you don't scorch the bottom because there's no additional fat in here, just its own fat rendering. So we're going to cook that down and we'll show you what that looks like momentarily. Here we have the ground sausage. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, it's going to be a lot of fat in the bottom of the pan. But you can see here, there's really no fat. Don't forget, pork is generally pretty lean. So unless you're cooking with bacon, of course. But this ground sausage is already pretty lean. You see there's not much fat at all in here. So we're going to add now the sticks of butter. So we're using 2 pounds because we're making this for 200 people. So we have 2 pounds of the butter. And then we're going to add in all the celery, the carrots, and the red peppers. If you want your red peppers cooked a little bit more, they take a little bit longer than the celery and the onions. You can always cook them in there first, but I'm going to have a little crunch to this. I don't like to overcook the vegetables, excuse me. So a lot of folks are saying, how come you're not putting any seasoning in right now? Well, if you're using salted butter at home, you're going to get salt there. The sausage is pretty salty, and all the Pepperidge Farm are already seasoned, so they're already going to have a little bit of salt in there. So you can add that later if you need it, but we're also going to moisten it with a little chicken broth, which is salty. I do add a little bit of extra thyme. Even though it's seasoned, I just like the citrus quality of thyme, how it brightens the flavors up. It's almost like adding salt, but that nice little citrus backdrop that nobody can quite figure out. So a little bit of thyme there. And we're going to sweat all this down, and we'll show you how to assemble it. Super simple. Right, so here on the pan, you can see we have the butter, the celery, the red peppers, and the onion. And there's just still a little bite back, or al dente, on the vegetables, so I'm going to cut the heat off. So if you were at home and not making a big batch like I am, or we are, you can just take the stuffing mix and put it directly in to this one pot cooking. I've shut the heat off, so the heat is completely off now. There's no reason to let it cool. And for goodness sakes, do not put this stuffing inside the turkey. So you shouldn't really stuff your turkey with stuffing because the inside temperature of the turkey never gets hot enough because all the blood and the juices and the raw turkey juice drips into the stuffing. You'd have to get the stuffing to 170 inside the bird, which means the bird is like 180, 190, which means you've cooked it to kingdom come. So it's probably better served as a lawn ornament than a kitchen table ornament. So do not stuff your bird, unless you're going to put some aromatics, maybe some celery, some lemon, which is what I do, some garlic, and half an apple diced up. So this is how easy this is. So you can see now the stuffing, and you'll mix this up. Get it all incorporated. And I'll show you how to assemble it here in a moment. Here you can see we've taken it out of the pan because we're making a big batch. And we've added a lot more of the breadcrumbs. So it's going to get really dry. So to moisten it up, we just add some chicken broth. So this is high-end chicken broth. You can use right out of a can, or that College Inn or the Swanson's, no problem. And you want to add less than you think because you want to taste along the way. It's a job hazard. And then make sure it's not getting too salty between the chicken broth and the sausage. And then from there you can just add regular water, which is what this is, to help keep it moist. Because once you oversalt it, there's not much you can do to recover. So we're gonna continue to mix this and we'll show you how to serve it. We have it, and this is kind of the consistency you're looking for now. So you can see if I pick it up, you can kind of make a meatball out of it. So you want it to be a little moist, and like I said, you can cook this the Sunday before Thanksgiving. It actually does better the longer it sits. And once you prepare food, it's good for 7 days, 6, 7 days in a stable refrigerator. So you can serve it either on a platter, so you can put it in the oven to heat it last minute in an oven dish, and then just transfer it to a beautiful platter if you're doing family style service. Or at our house, what I like to do, it's kind of fun, you just put it in a muffin tin. And you already have some butter in here and so on, so you really don't need to grease it. So like this, make a nice little muffin out of it. Make all the muffins, you'll pop this in the oven, and then you can take them out when they're done and put them like that beautifully. They'll have a nice brown crust on them from the oven. 375 just to warm it up. You get a little brown crust, and you can put this on a platter for as many guests as you have. Maybe a little sprig of rosemary across the top. And of course, you'll wash it down with some gorgeous Crimson Creek, which is an ideal partner for turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll see you soon.